she doesn't think I'm able to do the job because I'm too quiet and monotone. And the job was not even a hard job. It was just weird how they were doing stuff. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name's Kalandra and I'm back with another video. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button or you whack.
You know what? She's just whack.
Okay, so now that you have subscribed, let me get into the video. Today I want to talk about a very terrible job experience that I had a couple of years ago. I mean, after this video, I think I'm probably not going to be able to get a job because I've just been on the 9-to-5 hate train lately. And, you know, a lot of places actually check your social media, you know, after your interview. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. For the sake of content, yes, but also, you know, people have been going through it out here in the corporate world, and I feel like we need to talk about that more. I'm pretty sure you've gone through some stuff. I went through some stuff. A lot of people have went through some stuff, and a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. People are coming out more talking about their experiences, especially on TikTok. But I want to talk about something that was just very terrible. I was treated very poorly at this place. I've been treated poorly at a lot of places, but this one takes the cake, and it is a big highlight on my whole experience living in Washington State. Go ahead and watch my 2-part video on my whole Washington State experience. But over in Washington, it was just a weird experience for me. I really did not like living there. I don't want to really bash the state, but I didn't like living there at all. I experienced the most racism, and no, I wasn't called the N-word or anything like that, but you could tell when people are treating you a certain way because of your race, especially compared to other people. I was one of the few black people that lived in the area that I was in. I was living in Bremerton, Washington, and I worked in Silverdale. Silverdale's kind of like the little area where all the like plazas and shopping is and all that. But yeah, I experienced a whole lot of BS over there. I've worked 3 jobs. They were all in Silverdale. When I originally moved to Washington, it was because my husband was military at the time. He got stationed there for a 1.5 years, probably the longest 1.5 years of my life. So I worked at Ross, and I transferred from the Ross I was working at to the Ross in Silverdale. And I did not like the way they were treating me. Like, a lot of the stuff I was concerned about, they did not listen to any of my concerns. They did not care about me as an employee, so I quit that place, and I was unemployed for about 2 weeks, kind of like how I am now, unemployed with no other job. And I really hesitated to quit, but I ended up quitting. I applied to jobs a lot through Indeed. I really don't pay attention to them as long as they say like sales associate, because sales associate is usually what I'm comfortable with. I don't really like to do restaurant jobs or anything else. So I applied to, I guess, a random sales associate job, and I got a phone call from them. And here is also a great twist that I want to add to the story. I wrote a review on the place after everything went down, because on Indeed you can make reviews, and I ended up finding it. But not only did I find it, I found out that the review was rejected. I was extremely angry when I wrote this review, so I can kind of understand. And then I had some spelling errors and stuff like that. I was just really heated, and I didn't even know till now that the review was rejected. But anyway, let me go ahead and find it real quick. And this is my old phone. I'm filming on my current phone. Okay, so I remember applying to this job, and then about a week later I got a phone call. So let me just go ahead and read the review, because it helps me elaborate on a lot of things. This took place in 2019. It's 2023 now. So of course I'm not going to remember every little thing. I remember basically almost everything, because like something like that you just can't forget. But some things are also a blur after a while. So let me go ahead and get into it. I completely regret even walking into the place. They called me to come in and fill out an application. So when I got the phone call, you know, it was a lady. She introduced herself. The place that I worked at was called Christopher and Banks in Silverdale, Washington. Looks like I'm a little late, and Karma already did its thing. They're permanently closed because they need to get exposed for how they treated me. However, I'm not going to put their actual names because I have some type of human decency. But I'm going to give her a fake name. Her name's Karen, okay? She called in for me to fill out an application. When I originally applied, Indeed will have you do like an application through them, and then you answer questions and then you submit it. That's what kind of application it was. So I really thought that was the application of the place, but she told me to come in and fill in an application, which I've never gotten that before. Usually people call you after you fill out an application, it's just for an interview. I don't know if you want to call it a red flag or what. It was just a little weird. So I come in about an hour later. It's weird because I'm trying to like tell the story and then read the review at the same time. So maybe I should just read the review. I came in about an hour later and did so. I shouldn't have ignored the red flags, as Karen, and it's very similar to her actual name, the manager in quotation marks, was in the process of hiring me. Okay, boom, we're gonna start right there. So I come in, and when I walked in originally, it was a very conservative type of old white woman type of store. Okay, it was a clothing store. I have no problem working with elders. I have no problem with elders, but when you work somewhere, I think you should work places that you can resonate with, relate to, something that you would like the products. And I did not like anything. It was just very like old-fashioned type of clothing. I would say old-fashioned, but it was just not my style. Like, I dress really young, if that makes sense. And even the jewelry wasn't even like that cute. And I should have knew like right at the top of my head that it wasn't my vibe. And the manager is an older lady as well. She's an elder. We get to talking. She seemed very pleasant, at first. She asked me questions about my availability. It was basically an interview, but she wanted me to fill out an application while I was there too. So she gave me a paper application. I took the paper application, and she gave me a pen, filled out everything because she wanted me to fill it out right on the spot. So I did that real quick and I handed it to her. We continued to have a conversation. This is right when I'm continuing with the story. She never talked about how much they paid an hour or even asked how I wanted to receive my paycheck. Okay, so this is definitely my fault. Anytime you're getting interviewed for any type of job, you should always mention or always ask how much they pay an hour. You should know how much you're getting paid at any place before you work, especially like with all the things that are going on TikTok. They tell you, a lot of people are giving out a lot of great information and great things to apply to your life. And I don't know, she just seemed very quick and eager with things, and she was just like really nice. And I don't know, I didn't ask for some reason, like I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that was my fault. But no, she did not mention how much I would be getting paid. She didn't ask like how I wanted to get paid, like through direct deposit or none of that stuff. So yeah, that was also a huge red flag as well. And when I get into the story a little bit more, it's gonna kind of make sense. But anyway, I did come in and have to do like that thing when they hire you, you give your IDs and stuff like that. So I had to come in another day and do that, but I didn't fill out no like tax paper, or still didn't know how much I got paid or how I would get paid. She hired me on spot and said I'll be doing phone calls and then I'll be on the sales floor. As I start me the first day, what? You see, that's probably why they rejected it. But as I start the first day, everything seemed fine. Okay. One red flag that I did not mention is when she was like kind of telling me what I would be doing. Basically, yes, I would be calling people about this sale that they had going on within the next week. So it was called like some Sunday fun sale or family fun sale, something like that. So they gave me a script on what I would be saying. I had to call like a whole book of people, like basically about 200 people per day. Okay, so I had to call all these people. I had to read this script, and she observed my character in the very beginning. She said I was very monotone and very quiet and stuff like that. Like, she basically said I was
very monotone, so I need you to be a character.
Basically, that's what she said. She's like, you're a little too monotone, so you need to be a character. I need you to act very perky. And, I said, I'll try. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an actress. I said, I'll try. I'm monotone, but I can jazz it up. Like, I know how to be friendly. I know how to be assertive. I know how to do all that stuff. But I'm not going to sit there and act like a completely different person. She wanted me to act like a completely different person. And that's just not me. The first couple days, I was just in the back room doing all these phone calls. People would tell me whether they're interested or not interested in coming. And then I think I had to keep note of everybody who was coming. Also, what happened on my first day is she was making the schedule. I believe I started on a Thursday or Friday. So she scheduled me to work, I think, 3 or 4 days in a row. So she was just like, are you able to work, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that? And then I told her no for Saturday because I think I had something that I was doing that day. But yeah, at first everything seemed very flexible. So that's what I put. Their schedule is flexible, which is the only positive thing about it as days go on. She basically just gave me a very flexible schedule. I was working about 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't think anything longer than that. And I was just in the back the whole time. So at first it just seemed like a very easy job. And I thought I was gonna be fine with the company. Another red flag is on the third day, I came in and wore ripped jeans. They did not go over nothing about a dress code or anything like that. So she told me that I have to not wear those type of jeans, which is fine, but then told me that I had to wear something from the store. And the discount was maybe 30% off or something like that. Nothing crazy. The clothes were expensive. For a top, I would say about $30 maximum. For bottoms, they were all no under $50. And the sizing was different. I wear juniors clothes. I don't wear adult clothes like that. And if I do, I wear a size 2 or something like that. And they did not fit me. So they wanted me to come in and be super conservative and wear more conservative clothes and then wear something that was from them. And so they gave me some stuff to try on and none of it fit me. I'm very petite, so none of it fit me and it wasn't my style anyway. I mean, I could wear conservative clothes, but it has to look my age, you know what I'm saying? It did not give, oh, she's 23 or 24 years old, okay? That's how old I was at the time. Since nothing fit me, they just basically said, okay, that's fine, just wear clothes, just wear jeans that are not ripped, and that's what I did. But in the very beginning, that's something that we should have went over, what was dress code and all of that good stuff, and then you tell me on my third day. I hate when jobs do that stuff. Especially even my last job, it's just okay, they were fine with what I was wearing for the first couple weeks, and then now, oh, you gotta change it, or this is not right. It's just the lack of communication. I don't like that. I find out through another employee that the pay was really low, and she was telling me about other jobs that were paying more. There was another girl that they hired, I believe a week before me or a couple days before me. It was a white girl. She was around maybe my age or older. I'm gonna name her Samantha. And then there was an assistant manager who was also another elder lady. I will name her Kathy, okay? Kathy was very nice. She would chat it up with me a lot. So I did chat it up with the other girl. And I think she said something about the pay is very low. So then I go talk to Kathy. And then she was like, yeah, the pay is not good at all. And minimum wage at the time was $10 an hour. In Washington, they were probably paying either 10 exactly or 9, under minimum wage. There's no commission or anything like that because it is a sales job as well. So that was a huge red flag. And when I found out, I'm just eh. And then she was just kind of telling me, oh yeah, you're so young, you have a lot of time ahead of you, and you should work here, 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 here. And that's fine and all, but it's kind of weird at the same time because I'm working here why would you want to tell me to work at other places? But as the story goes on, it makes sense. And I was just basically like, oh, well, I just started here, so I don't want to just like, work somewhere else right now. Like, I'll think about it later on, but it's kind of weird. You're a manager, so it's like, why are you, doing that? Okay, this part of the story is missing somehow. I don't know. I think I accidentally deleted this footage, but this is a very important part of the story, so let me just go ahead and get into it. Also, they kept shortening the script for the phone calls, and the customer didn't hear me no matter how loud I was speaking, and the ladies kept correcting me. As I took their advice, they kept saying, poor thing. Mind you, I'm the youngest one there, so I felt like they kept belittling me because of my age. They kept changing the script. Within the third day, they kept changing it here and there, and I don't know if it was because they were just trying to change things up or they didn't like how I was saying it, because they did not like the fact that my voice is low. They did not like the fact that I was quiet. They kept underestimating me. Even in conversations, it's just like, oh, you're so young, and blase blase, you're so quiet, all of this stuff. And it would come from Kathy a lot of the times, because I was chatting it up with her and we had a conversation, and she kind of assumed something about me. And I'm sorry I can't get, like, I'm not very detailed with it because this was literally 3 years ago, but I remember events, if that makes sense. But I kind of like corrected her on it, and she was like, oh my god, I had no idea. And that's just kind of how they treated me. Like, I was just stupid, I was young, naive, did not know what I was doing in life, and it was just very irritating. And that's just how I would explain the whole experience. So let me elaborate on the whole poor thing. So I was on the phone call with this elder man, and sometimes the service was very staticky, especially in Washington. Like, the service is just very slow. So I was on the phone just telling him about the sale that was going on, and I'm kind of I was talking to him in this voice right here, like in this tone. So I kept repeating because he kept saying, what? I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. And so I just kept getting louder and louder and louder, and I was damn near yelling the last time I repeated myself before he finally heard me. And as I was going through this annoying phone call, they're just kind of like mouthing stuff to me, and they were getting kind of frustrated with the whole thing. So when I got off the phone, they're just like, oh my god, poor thing. Like, and just talking about like I'm so like monotone and I need to speak up more. I was doing straight phone calls for about 4 days straight. So then they put me on the floor and had me doing like stuff with the clothes, like putting name tags on them, the security, hanging stuff up. They were training me a little bit on the sections of the clothes, but they kind of had me in like maybe one section. And the way this store was set up, it was like very, very confusing. They had so many different sizes, and I don't even remember all of them. I know they had petites, they had plus, and they had like so many different sizes. Like, that's all I can say. Please believe me on this, okay? I know y'all believe people be capping, but like, believe me on this. It was very confusing how they had things sized up. It was probably like at least maybe 8 different sizings and sections. So I only remembered like one, which was petites and plus. And then it was also sectioned by the type of clothes as well. And then it had like a big clearance section and all of that stuff. So they did not really train me. They just had me kind of hanging stuff, like kind of like hanging stuff up and then putting it away in a way. But they did not like really introduce me to the whole store and train me on each individual section and stuff like that. And they didn't have me talk to customers either. I was basically in the back, and then I was like hanging up the clothes. That was it. I didn't do anything that I wasn't told that I wasn't supposed to do, because maybe that's just how jobs are. Sometimes you do one thing and then they'll train you how to do something else. The other girl, Samantha, was already on the floor, And like I said, she was hired a couple of days before me. She was already, helping customers and doing the full job. So yeah, that did raise concern because like why did they have me just doing the hanging up the clothes, putting stuff away? They didn't like really like I talked to customers here and there, like finding everything okay, and if they would ask a question that I didn't know about, it's like I would ask the manager and help them that way. But usually they did not really want me talking to customers. And then suddenly Samantha quits the job. Okay, she quit like maybe a week in me being in the company. She just quits. I don't know why she quit, but she did the right thing. She was smart. Something I should have did, but she quit. So as time went on, I did ended up somehow questioning Karen on what is next for me. Like I'm just hanging up these clothes, like when am I going to be trained, or when am I going to be able to do more with the job? I don't know how it came up somehow, but eventually that question had to come out. She was kind of taking it back when we had this conversation. She told me I'm too laid back and I have to speak up more and pitch more sales. Mind you, I only been on the sales floor twice, and they were training me on other things, like I said. I'm probably watching this like this is the worst story time ever. I'm so sorry. But this part of the video was missing too. Like I know I said this in this video, like I mentioned it, and I don't know how the footage got missing with this, but yeah, she had told me how they like to pitch sales to customers and everything. And in her words, she's like, yeah, I like to dress customers like little dolls. And their way of pitching sales or getting people to buy stuff is like following them to the fitting room and trying to get them to, and getting the customers to try as many clothes on as possible. So that was just their way of wanting to do it, like just get them in the fitting room, whatever. And I mean, that's cool and all. I mean, every place has their own way of doing stuff, but I thought of it as sort of a red flag because I don't like jobs that kind of push you to like follow people and try to make people try stuff on. It's just like that. I don't like that pushy salesperson way of doing things. But yeah, that's basically how they wanted me to do stuff, and I guess they didn't think I was gonna be the one to be able to do that. So, and I'm reading this. The girl they hired with me quit, and they wanted to keep her and only hired me for the event calls, which made no sense because she didn't mention that from the beginning. Need I say more? She basically said I can't do the job. She doesn't think I'm able to do the job because I'm too quiet and monotone. And they wanted to keep Samantha for the job and have me just do the event calls until that Sunday came around, and then I was done. And it was just like, what? Because you did not fucking tell me that shit from the beginning. And so that really pissed me off because it's like, why waste my time, playing in my face and thinking I'm that young and dumb. Like they treated me like I was a young, dumb black woman. Basically, like I have like I just have no type of smarts or whatever. Like I was treated like I was just stupid. And so that's when I actually spoke up for the first time, because I don't usually speak up for myself in these types of situations, but I was really fed up because the whole thing just seemed so weird, unorganized, no communication, no nothing from the very beginning. And the job was not even a hard job. It was just weird how they were doing stuff, but it wasn't a hard job. Not something that I couldn't handle, but if you would train me properly and tell me, oh, this is how this needs to be done, this is how this needs to be done, and just saying little things here and there, that doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? And most jobs I get that managers do not train, but I wasn't being trained on how to do nothing. They didn't have a trainer for me or nothing. So how the fuck am I supposed to know how to do the job? So I spoke up and told her that. Like that wasn't mentioned from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Why why would I want to work why would I want to just work until that day if that's not what I was told that was going to happen? I wanted it to be my job. Like, I wanted to work here. You know, if it was a temporary position, it should have said that on Indeed. So basically, she's like, okay, so you want to give this a try? Like, I could put you on the schedule for next week. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Like, they didn't give me a chance. They did not give me a chance and train me and stuff like that. And basically, I was just like, yeah, I wasn't trained. I wasn't told like what to do. So she's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a chance. Come in on this day, and I had like maybe a day off or whatever. So I came in on the day of the sale, the big sale, and let me just tell you, the rest of the story, it just feels like a huge setup. Like, she kind of knew I wasn't gonna be able to fulfill her wants and her desires of what she wanted from an employee. So she just wanted to kind of prove her point. And instead of, moving on, I decided, oh, I know I can do the job, so like, give me a chance. What was the point of working somewhere for 2 weeks and getting my check in the mail? She then tells me she would give me a chance and gave me a schedule for the week. I come in the next day and she gives me orders from online and expects me to do them all by myself. I try my best to follow customers around and get them clothes to try on. Some did, others didn't want to be bothered. Okay, so the online order thing, I was not showed on how to do that stuff. It was just something they were kind of doing. The managers were kind of taking care of. They didn't train me on no register or nothing like that. That part is honestly a blur to me, and it wasn't really a major part of the story. But like, when I came in that day, they had me do something with that by myself, and then they wanted me to just be on the sales floor with little to no knowledge on how to do stuff and barely remember anything. So, I just go around just trying to do the best I can. I ask people if they need help. I try to give suggestions on, oh, this is going to be cute or whatever. Some people, I think one lady went to the fitting room. She tried on a couple of things. I don't remember if she bought anything. Maybe she did. And then something, like, I had to put a lot of stuff back. They wanted me to put things back, where they belong. And I don't remember where stuff goes. So it's just like, I kind of just put stuff, because they had me put stuff on a rack that I don't remember, where it went. Usually most places, like, if they try on something, they'll have like a little rack that you put stuff on. So I was just kind of, if I couldn't find something, because I was looking around for quite a while trying to find some stuff for where certain things go, and I did not remember all of it, okay? So while I was doing that, I was just trying to help people. Some people didn't want to be bothered. Try to promote little sales here and there. I had a couple questions from somebody. I think, somebody asked me a question and I gave her the wrong answer. And, the whole time, Karen's just kind of looking at me with this very condescending, judgmental look. Okay. And I think one time randomly throughout it was an hour of me doing all this, right? She calls me and she's like, Calandra, I want you to race me across the store. And I'm looking at her very confused, like, what do you mean? Well, race you? Like, what? Like, cause who randomly just does that? And I get what she was trying to do. She was trying to basically make me seem like I'm just slow. Like, she was calling me slow. And I didn't think she was serious. So she says go, and I beat her across the store. And then she's like talking to Kathy, like, oh yeah, I told Calandra to race me across the store. She beats me. Like it was supposed to be some shocking thing. Like, you a old bitch. What you mean? Of course I'm faster than you. The fuck? Like, she was trying to call me slow. And that was like so humiliating. Like, Like throughout the whole time I was trying to figure out like how to do my job, instead of helping me, instead of training me or whatever, y'all just trying to test me and see how I'm just gonna fail, and then try to make jokes about me and then make me seem like I'm just stupid. And it was like the most embarrassing, the most humiliating day of my life. And oh my god, like I have never felt so bad at a job before. Yeah, well, I did actually, but this was one of the worst days of my life. And so, people asked me questions, I did not know the answer. Some I did. And then it was like the very last straw for her is when somebody asked me something, and I think it's something that they did tell me before, but I forgot, okay? So I gave her the wrong answer, okay? And Karen was just like, okay, Kalandra, I'm gonna talk to you in the back. You already know what that means, right? So she's like, yeah, this job is too fast. I think this job is too fast paced for you. I'm gonna have to let you go. That's what she said, within an hour of my shift. Within an hour of my shift. They gave me a whole week, but, she didn't even bother to try to keep me around. She just said, you know what, it's time for you to go. Whatever. I was fed up. I was pissed off. It was just so much I wanted to do, but I, kept my composure. I shouldn't have, but I kept my composure. I was mad. I had an attitude. All right, when am I going to get my check? When am I going to get my check? That's what I said. I was like, when am I going to get my check? She was like, you'll get your check in about a week in the mail. So I just go to my locker, I get my stuff, and I storm out the building because all they did was play in my face the whole entire time. Later on, she fires me, so now I'm just waiting on my check. So it took like a little over a week. It was like maybe 2 weeks. Okay, moral of the story, they were fake nice. They made me feel littler. Damn. I was so mad. Like, I did not type everything right. And told me this job was too fast paced. They didn't train me right. They made me feel like I was young and stupid. There is so much more shady things I can mention, but this paragraph is long enough. Don't apply here if you're monotone, black, and young. Their clothing is overpriced and old ladyish. They have too much high standards for little to no pay. And that's basically what it was. I walked out, I was hysterical. Like, I was on the phone with my husband just saying F everything. I hate living here. I'm so depressed. Because I really was. Like, that was like, damn, just thinking back at it, I want to cry because I felt so depressed living there. I felt like I couldn't fit in with nobody. I felt like I was constantly treated weird. Like, people did not like me. Mind you, there's a lot of racism in Virginia, where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? But it's also very balanced. Like, it's tons of people that are black. There's, white people. I faced, like, texturism through the black community in Virginia. I faced, a couple of things and then a few microaggressions when I moved to San Diego, but nothing was comparable to Washington at all. That was hands down the worst experience. I would never live somewhere like that. If you come to the West Coast, just go to California, Arizona, and Nevada. Don't bother going to Oregon and Washington. Just don't. I mean, some people may say otherwise, but the Northwest is just not where it's at to me at all. But yeah, I learned a lot, and now I'm much better at calling things out. When something's a red flag, I just skedaddle because that was a huge waste of my time. The check was probably like $200 for 2 weeks. Not good. Not good. Not worth the microaggressions and the way I was treated there. And they would like say certain things trying to make me seem stupid, and then when I proved them wrong, they would just feel dumb about themselves. And then she had the nerve, like, she saw me at my new job and she was like, it was great seeing you. And of course, me, I'm trying to be nice while I'm at work. I'm like, it's great seeing you too, but I didn't say it in a way that I meant it. You know, like, girl, bye, get the fuck out of my face. Like, fuck you. Oh, I'm glad I never had to see them people again. But yeah, that was my experience. Can you relate? Have you had something like that similar happen to you before? Let me know in the comments, and I appreciate y'all for watching my video. Also, I have reached 1,000 subscribers. I am so thankful. Like, all this hard work I've been putting in, and of course, you know, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't reach 1,000 subscribers. So I am going to be doing a giveaway very soon. I think a Cash App giveaway because yeah, I don't want to give my number away or nothing like that. So I'm gonna do like a little small Cash App giveaway. I don't have a lot of money right now, but you know, I could probably help somebody get a meal or something like that. You know, follow me. Well, first subscribe here, and then follow me on my Instagram, and then comment below in the comments on this video 1,000 subscriber, and I will check and see if you follow my IG. I'm gonna give away like maybe $25 to somebody who needs it or wants it, you know, if you want to participate. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.